Hey, everybody.
All right, thanks for being here, Trung.
Oh, thank you.
Let's start off quickly with, or not quickly, let's start off with what is sort of idiosyncratic about grocery in robotics? Like, what are the special things that a grocer needs? You're a national level grocer.
Yeah.
What are the things you're looking for in robotics, and what are sort of the peculiarities of robotics in groceries?
I think everybody's been to the grocery store. It hasn't changed in probably 15, 20 years. I think the last thing that truly has changed is self-checkout. Who's used self-checkout in the last few weeks or now? So that itself is kind of changing, right? So in the past, you got grocers checking folks out, and now we're kind of automating that process with self-checkout. We're always looking to try to automate the process, always trying to look to better our bottom line. Right? One of the biggest things in grocery is our margins are extremely thin. We're always looking at ways to help better serve our customers and looking for those processes where we can automate. So Chris asked me to come here to talk about automation and takeoff. One of the things that we're looking in my role is I deal with e-commerce. I'm the VP of Strategic Initiatives, and one of the things in e-commerce is picking. You go online to Safeway.com. You pick your groceries, those orders come through our website, then get sent to our stores. Then one of our pickers walk the stores. They spend about 30 minutes walking our stores. They pick the products for our customers and then pack it up, and then somebody from our last mile partners deliver it to our customers. And so in that whole process, we just spent 30 minutes walking the floors and finding products. And so part of that is we want to try to streamline the process. And so we're partnering with one of our great partners, Takeoff, to build a micro-fulfillment centers next to our stores. So what does that mean? That means that we're going to be building this warehouse. It's about 10,000 square feet attached to one of our stores. These facilities will have a lot of robots flying through, bringing the products to our shoppers. Now our shoppers won't be walking the floors. Our shoppers will be picking products from totes, putting into totes, streamline the whole process by 10%. So what does that mean for our customers? That means that now we can offer lower rates to our customers. We can offer better slots for our customers. We can offer more efficient ways to deliver to our customers. So in short, to answer, we're always looking find better ways to serve our customers, Chris.
So you, for those that don't know, like Takeoff builds these micro-fulfillment centers in stores, right? It's in series of rails and totes and things moving quickly. Yep. And I'm wondering, you look at a competitor of yours is building a standalone warehouse that's robot-driven, but you're looking more at like the micro-fulfillment center. Why did you look at the micro-fulfillment versus a standalone kind of centralized operation?
Great question. At the end of the day, it's about speed to market and cost. Building a fully dark warehouse takes a lot of time. I think that these dark warehouses ranges between 50,000 square feet up to 200,000 square feet. It takes a lot of capital. In the grocery world, like I mentioned before, our margins are extremely thin. We're trying to get first to market and find the best way that we can expand quickly. One of our biggest competitor is Walmart and Amazon. They have deep pockets. They're building all sorts of robotics. They're quick to market. And so when we're doing these analysis with Takeoff, we found that the fastest way to build automation is to leverage our current storefront. Our current storefront, currently today, we have 2,500 stores today. These storefronts already have a lot of our SKUs. We basically bolt on a micro-fulfillment center. From there, we can serve our customers, offer up to 25,000 SKUs, and do it in a quarter of the cost than a full dark warehouse.
So Takeoff can fulfill an order, I've read, up to, or actually I've talked to them, and they've said, in as little as a half hour. How do you determine sort of the rate at which you're going to offer fulfillment? Like, are you just going to just let the hose loose and just let people go like, hey, 5 minutes from now, come and pick it up? Or how do you determine what rate you're going to run that robotic process at?
Great question. I think we're still in the learning process right now. The Takeoff says that they can fulfill that. We're going to offer a really robust windows for our customers. The great part about it is that we're attached to the store. Our current operations are in e-commerce is still there, and so we'll be able to leverage both our old processes and our new processes until we build up to the output that they say we can. So one of the biggest hurdles that we're still trying to solve for is the last mile, Chris. I think our fulfillment centers can output as fast as probably half an order half an hour per order or whatever. But at the end of the day, finding the low cost way to deliver to our customers has always been the biggest blocker and one of the problems that we're trying to solve today.
So speaking of that, are you looking, again, your competitors are looking at or piloting things like self-driving cars. There are others that are doing, Starship, who's here, is doing, I think, grocery delivery somewhere in Milton Keynes in England. Are you looking at different form factors for the last mile delivery? And if so, what kinds of form factors are you looking at?
Yeah, we're looking at drones, these big drones that fly through and pick up groceries and drop it off.
They're called helicopters. And
yeah, we are. Autonomous vehicles is something that's on our radar for sure. We're working on a few partners in the Bay Area at some pilots, but we're always looking at potential options there.
Okay. Now, so labor is going to be an issue, and it's going to be something that we probably revisit a few times throughout the day here. And I want to make sure that we're not just asking the same question over and over, which is like robots displacing jobs. But what I'm more interested in is, as you've talked about, you've already automated part of it, right? Like self-checkout was a way for Albertsons to automate part of the processes. So you've had experience with introducing automation with a human workforce. How do you roll out something like a micro-fulfillment center to people? What is sort of the reaction? To the customer, they're not going to know, right? They just know they get their groceries faster. But to your employees, one, I want to know, do you have current labor issues that you're trying to address? And two, how do you roll out, like, this is your new robotic coworker? So let's start with the first one. Like, sort of what labor issues is Albertsons and other grocers facing?
Yeah, so the difference between Albertsons and a Walmart is we're unionized. And so the labor issue is very big. So one of the things that we are working on is we're not eliminating in positions, we're shifting positions. And so currently our takeoff facilities will be outputting a lot more. We'll be shipping some of those customers or some of those shoppers into the stores. And we'll also be creating new positions. So during these micro-fulfillment centers, we'll need shoppers, we'll need inbound, outbound managers, we'll need some folks running facilities. So we'll be shifting those employees over to these new positions.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Oh, okay. And so when you start introducing these things, is there a best practice you've learned in terms of, like, say hello to, Rolly, your new robotic tote-carrying coworker? Show them where the coffee machine is.
Yeah, it's all about the buy-in, right? It's change management. A lot of the folks that are part of our organization, they know it's changing. E-commerce. Let's just use e-commerce for a second here. Safeway's been doing e-commerce for about 15 years now with BPOD. Now we're getting into this new realm. We're shifting a lot of the in-store customers onto the digital customers. And so one of the change management that we have to sell our unionized workforce is it's the shift. It's the shift, and it's a shift in the sense that we have to be relevant in the world of grocery. We have to offer this offering. It is a sale that potentially that order is not going to the check stands, and those cashiers aren't getting those hours. But at the end of the day, the company is getting those dollars, and it's still funding your wages, and it's part of the new environment. So it's that communication stream, it's the constant communication, constant reminder that we're all in this together, and it's just not we're doing this for the bottom line, but we're doing this as a whole for the entire company.
How soon do you have to introduce labor into sort of your planning, right? So yeah, that's interesting. You bring up sort of the unions. So when you're mulling it over, like as you're getting partners, like how far in advance do you need to sort of bring them into the conversation to make things go as smoothly as possible for what you want to do?
Day one.
Okay.
Day one. So with the whole takeoff facilities, we're bringing in all the union representatives, all the union lawyers, making sure that everything that we do, there is, there's clear communication. There's no surprises to anybody. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then, but I also want to take a step back. Like, we were talking before the show that you're having trouble hiring. Like, kids don't want to work at grocery stores anymore.
Exactly.
They are, they are eyeing the cool job or starting their own company in their bedroom, writing an app. So, I mean, that seems to be a problem for you just in general.
It's a huge problem. I think one of the biggest problems that we currently have today in our e-commerce environment is drivers. We cannot hire enough drivers currently today. And so we are leveraging 3PLs and third parties to help deliver to our customers. And so, for some reason, they rather drive an Uber or Lyft than drive a Safeway truck, and we think it's because of the flexibility. They want the flexibility of the schedules. They want to know that nobody's watching them. They can have a wake up whenever, log onto an app and drive instead of having an 8 to 5 job delivering groceries for Albertsons.
So that brings up another interesting point in terms of like micro fulfillment and robotics. When those things can run 24 hours a day, how is that shifting sort of your logistical supply chain, right? So it's not happening now, right? But the ability to have autonomous trucks deliver throughout the day changes. They're not just sitting idle for 12 hours a night.
Correct.
And so, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, the whole takeoff process within Albertsons is changing the way that we look at product from the very start to the very end. We're working with our DC folks to change the way that we receive our orders, how we receive the orders, how the orders are packed, all the way through on how we're packaging products to our customers. We're changing. In the past, we delivered everything in plastic bags and totes. In the future, we'll be delivering everything in reusable bags that are sealed so that we can leverage the 3PLs. And so we're re-looking at everything from start to finish, from the starting point of when we receive the products from our manufacturers all the way through to the process where we deliver to our customers.
Excellent. And then I'm wondering, are you also looking at, Walmart just announced last week that they're greatly expanding sort of shelf scanning robots and floor scrubbing robots. I assume those are things that you're looking at as well?
Yeah. I think I just had a conversation with Vince in the cafe. We've been looking at robots for the last 3-4 years. I think one of the biggest things that always stopped a grocery industry like Albertsons or a grocery company like Albertsons is the cost of a robot, right? I think in the phase that we're at right now, nothing is like massively produced. Everything is extremely expensive for a retailer like Albertsons. A robot can cost X, but we have to times it by 3,000 stores because we have 3,000 outfits there. So it gets really costly really fast.
So before we close out, I just want to ask, so there are a lot of robotic startups here today and in general. What should a robotic startup who wants to talk to you, what should they know or what should they come to you with in terms of working with a national grocer?
Great question. I've worked with startups for the last 5 or 6 years. I think one of the biggest hurdles that startups have is understanding the retail use case, making sure that you guys understand what our problem is. Every retailer has a different problem, and understanding how you can solve that problem, but not only solving that problem, but how do you implement that problem? Right. I think retailers like myself, when I work with startups, is like, hey, you might have the greatest product, but if you're going to come to me and ask me how, just like, here it is, but not give me a way to roll it out is extremely tough for us. And so not only having a great product at a reasonable cost, but also having a implementation strategy too is grateful.
Excellent. Well, this has been a fantastic way to start the day. Thank you, Trung. We appreciate it. Big round of applause, please. Mr. Trung Nguyen.